Happy Friday! Woohoo! And welcome to a quick draw. So this is the last one of our week. We've done 5 really cool pictures all week, and this is our last one. Boo! It's super sad, but it's super happy because, oh, that's the wrong way. It doesn't really look happy, does it? Sad because it's our last one, but it's happy. Let's do a happy face because it's the weekend. Okay, I can't fit in weekend. How bad was that drawing? Okay, let's try again. Because it's the weekend. And that's how good it is. So we've got a quick draw. It's the weekend and we're all excited. For those of you that have just gone back to school this week, then you've had a busy week. We've got one more week at home of homeschooling and then everyone goes back from here as well, which they're quite excited about. So you're going to need Mr. HB, Eric the eraser, Sally the sharpener, and some coloured pencils. That's what we're going to use. Remember, we're keeping it simple this week. Just 5 quick draws over the week from home. I've got you in my new clamp. Woohoo! And rather than having it all wobbly as yesterday, I decided to clamp you up first. So you're just going to have to know that this is me and I am here. Look, I'll show you. Here's my glasses. They are, you know it's Bess. Bess is here. I'm just above the screen today. What other things have we got to say? We got to say hello if you've joined us. Let me know if you're drawing. I would love to see your pictures afterwards, as always. And this has been asked for by my friend all the way from New Zealand, Sunny. Sunny sent me a message and said, could we do a cat? So this is our little crazy cat for Sunny. I hope you enjoy it. If you've got any ideas for any artwork that you would like Karen to cover, then don't forget, you can message me at You Create Art at Home. Okay, you can always send me a PM. Now, Mum and Dad might not know that because they're old and fuddy, but you guys know that it means private message. So send me a message, let me know what you would like to cover in our art sessions. This weekend, we are specifically covering a turtle for a request. So tomorrow, when we do our paint and picnic, which will be at 5 p.m, we will be doing our turtle. But that's obviously at 5 p.m. We'll talk some more about that later. Until then, let's get going with our crazy cat. All right, let's get started. So you can see I've got my paper in portrait today, which means it's up and down. And up and down means that it's in the long format. This is just a piece of copy paper, nothing fancy. So this would be landscape and this is portrait, okay? So in portrait, and we're going to start off by working out, again with our imaginary lines, where is the centre of our paper? There's the centre. If I was to put my other pencil on, I would get a cross in the middle. I don't really want to draw a cross, but if you need to, you can. But what I'm going to do is just work out, okay, there's my centre. Now we're going to start the head of our cat in this top part of our page, which means it's up in the left, okay? So here we go. And we're going to start off by doing a really large, very round W shape, okay, but curly W. So here we go. Follow me. We're going to go up the top and I'm going to go down and I'm going to go round. So it's like a W, a very, very curvy W. Now these are going to be the 2 parts of our ears and this is the bottom of the cat's mouth. So I'm going to go from the top of his ear, I'm going to draw down and then I'm going to go across and then I'm going to go up. Now I don't think that ear there is wide enough, so I'm just going to, I went a bit too far. I want it to be a triangle. There we go. So that's the shape of my cat's ears. Now we want to do his eyes, and it's going to be 2 leaf shapes with a rectangle in the middle. So ovals with a pointy ends. So there's 1 oval. There's 2 ovals or leaf shapes because they've got sharp pointy ends. And then down, across and back up. So it's a rectangle but without a 4th side. So it's only got 3 sides of our rectangle. Let's put in the eyes, shall we? Now he's a curious cat, so I'm going to give him curious eyes. I'm putting in the round. This bit here is his pupil, and this is the coloured bit of his iris. So he's starting to look pretty crafty at the moment, isn't he? Clive, our clever, let's write that up here, shall we? Clive, the clever, curious cat. I'll put some little whiskers where I'm writing cat. Clive, the clever, curious cat. Okie dokie. So we've done our eyes, we've done our ears. Let's put the inside of the ears inside. So 2 little triangles inside. And I want to put 2 lines underneath my eye to give him a bit of an edge, make him look a bit wise. We're going to put a line down the middle to divide the sides of his face up. And then I want you to pop in a letter U right there between his mouth. So that's our curious cat mouth. Let's add in some whiskers. Now you can add in as many whiskers as you want, but I'm going to do 3 each side. And I'm going to do them as a big loose curve. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And the other side, 1, 2, 3. Good job. That looks brilliant. If you want to be really fancy, you can add in those little circles, which are where the whiskers come from, the little bits on the mouth. All right, so we've pretty much done the head, except for colouring him in. And now we're going to move down to do the body. And the body is going to come into this quarter up here. Let's put my finger up here. It's going to go into this quarter up here. Here's my halfway mark. It's going to go down all the way to the bottom and round the corner, because this bit here is going to end up being our tail. So let's just practice that with our pencil before we put our pencil down. I'm going to start by the eye. I'm going to go down, across, around, all the way down the bottom and curl it up. So that was my imaginary draw. Now let's get our pencil and do our real draw. Okay, here we go. Down, around. And because I've done that imaginary pencil draw, I can press quite hard because I know exactly where I want the pencil to go. So we've got that body that goes down and around. So our cat is sat on its back legs. He's sat with his paws down like this. These are his front legs going to be here. And he's sat with a tail curled round. We've got a cat in our house and he's called Arthur. You might have seen a picture of Arthur. He walked across my artwork when I was doing the environmental art out in the garden. If you haven't seen, have a look at the video. You'll see there's a little picture of Arthur. Have a look in my videos. And he walked right across my artwork. Cheeky little monkey. Okay, we're going to put in another W now. We're going to do a straight line down from the side of his mouth all the way down the bottom. And then we're going to do a W. Let's mark that with our imaginary drawing. Straight line down to the bottom and then a W. Now let's do it for real. I'm just going to pull my sleeve up. Woo. Okay, let's go. Straight line down to the bottom and then W. What do you think they're going to be? That's right, they're going to be the paws at the bottom. This is the paws of my little kitty cat. Curious Clive. So if we put in the little toes, then you can see where his feet are. Good job. Okay, what do we need to do now? Well, what I want to do is add in the curly whirly bit of the tail, and it's a letter S. This is good for our letters, isn't it? So far we've done a letter W a couple times. This is kind of like a backwards C, a giant letter I, and now we're going to put in an S. So let's start here, about in the middle, and we curl round, and we have a big join, and we want it to join up with that curve. Okay, if it doesn't quite join up, rub out your mark and make it join up. Now, to make this tail three-dimensional, we need to put on a second side. So we're going to curl around the corner, and then we're going to follow our tail all the way round to the bottom. I think I've gone a bit thin there, so I'm going to rub that out, and let's make it a bit thicker. That's better. Want it to be an equal thickness. So you can see it's a giant letter S. And by doing a giant letter S, I've ended up getting a letter C as well. Fantastic. Oh, I'm loving what my cat is looking like. Now, I want to put a line up there between his legs. And I want to put a small curvy line there, which is where the back leg is. And now I'm going to pattern him all over. And for my Picasso-inspired curious cat, I'm going to use triangles. I'm going to start with small triangles at the top. And you can put them wherever you want. If you don't want to use triangles, maybe you'd like to use a different shape. Maybe you'd like to use more than one shape. Maybe circles and triangles. And then as they come down, I want you to do bigger shapes. So it grows as it comes down. They get bigger and bigger. So we're really playing with the scale of our pussycat and the scale of its shapes. So start small, and as it drops down, it gets bigger and bigger, the shape that you choose. Like I say, I'm choosing a triangle. You can choose whatever shape you like. You might want to do hearts, or you might want to do spots, or you might want him stripy, or you might want to do it spots and stripy. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to do a little ziggy zag there because I'm going to colour the end of his tail, and I'm going to do a ziggy zag here so he's like a tabby cat. So I'm just doing a couple little ziggy zag lines like he's got a pattern on his fur. If you want to, in fact I think I will, let's do stripes on his tail. I'm saying mine's a boy. You could make yours into a girl if you want. Give her some eyelashes or give her some red lips, whatever you want to do. I think I'm going to give my curious cat a hat. So I'm going to put a hat on my curious cat. So I've done a saucer shape over one ear, and then I'm going to put the hat over the top. Let's get the round shape of that hat. I'm going to rub that bit out there. And what I'm going to do is rub out the ear so it's sat on the side of his head. Just like that. Okay? And we might put a little slot there, and then his ear comes through the slot. So you can decide how you want to. No, that's the wrong way. Hang on, Karen. That makes his ear go sideways. We don't want to do that. Let's put a little slot here, and his ear goes up and down. There we go. So there's his ear underneath his hat, and he's got fluffy hair on top. All right, let's get him coloured in, shall we? I'm going to start off by doing all the yellow section. So I'm going to use hot colours and cold colours today. I'm going to do the bottom of his face all in hot colours. So all of this bit is going to be in bright yellow. Bright, bright, bright yellow. Right to the underneath of that eye, just there. And the same on this side. Bright, bright, bright yellow. Right to the underneath of that eye there. If you wanted to use felt tip pens or crayons, of course you can. But this week for me, I'm keeping it easy and keeping it nice and clean and just using pencils. So that's my yellow colour. And now I want all of these triangles to be yellow. So I'm going to colour them in yellow, like this. You might choose a different colour, a different shape and a different colour. You can do whatever colour you want. Maybe it's your most favourite colour. I'm just going to have to sharpen my pencil as we go, because they do rub down, don't they, when you're using pencils a lot. So I'm trying to press quite hard because I want really bright colours today for the end of my Friday 5 days quick draw challenge. I wonder how many of you have done all 5. You should have a little booklet of drawings if you have, which is super cool. You'll be able to take them back to school and show your teacher what you've been doing. So I'm going to do the end of his tail here. I'm going to do that part in yellow. The zigzaggy part. It's really nice, this drawing, isn't it? Once a day, doing a little drawing. When I was at college, at university, we had a sketchbook, and part of our homework was we had to do a sketch every single day. And we did a sketch every single day for 3 years while I was at university. And we used to get it marked. And it could be on anything. You could sketch something on a bus. You could sketch something in your the room that you lived in. Or it could be a flower. The subject wasn't really important. It was about the habit of sketching every day and having a bit of downtime. You know, when you spend 15, 20 minutes to yourself, you end up having that really nice little bit of quiet time, don't you? Some people meditate, some people do yoga, some people will go for a run or something like that. And there's lots of different ways that you can get time to yourself and just have a nice little bit of quiet time. And that's what I think these sort of quick draws are all about, aren't they? Just having 5 minutes to yourself, doing yourself a little drawing. And what's great is that when you follow with me, you're not really on your own, are you? You've got me having a chat with you, and you're coming out with some really exciting artwork that you might never have thought about doing before, because sometimes we struggle for ideas, don't we? So it's really good to have some new ideas every time we want to come. Karen's here, she's got something else to colour in, which is great. Maybe you've got some ideas for me for next week, what my quick draws would be for next week. Feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to take your ideas on and come up with some ideas for you. So you could say, oh, I'd really like to do aliens in outer space, or I'd really like to learn to draw how to draw a train, or maybe you'd like to do some ice creams or boats, or I don't know. What would you like to draw? It's always nice to have an idea and then let somebody know and we can draw them. And obviously, please let me have a enjoy seeing your artwork, because I like to put it up on the Facebook group for everyone to see. It's like an online gallery, isn't it? It's like having your art in an online gallery. Okay, so we've done the yellow, and now I'm going to swap to an orange. The orange is going to do this little bit of his mouth. And then we're going to use the orange for the under the eye. One eye and the other eye. And then do you remember I said, like we did the sloth, we're going to kind of make the body in layers of colour. So I'm going to do the orange at the bottom, up to about here, I think. Now, because I'm not using the watercolour today, well, they are watercolour pencils, but I'm not going to watercolour my brush. I'm not going to watercolour, sorry, let me spit this out correct. I'm not going to use a brush and the water afterwards. I am colouring a little bit more carefully than I was yesterday, because it's just going to be a pencil drawing. So I want the colours to be nicely coloured in and not too much of the white paper showing. So done the leg, done one foot. You can colour in different directions, that's fine. You don't have to colour in one direction the whole time. You can definitely colour in different directions. Okay, I need to sharpen my pencil again. And then we're going to go across to that back leg is my next bit. So over here to the back leg, which means I need to do that sneaky little space in there. And around this triangle here. And then up round the top. Okay, we're going to come down this side, so I'm going to use that triangle as the line that I'm going to go up to as far. And then back down towards the tail. Going to turn it that way so I can get into that corner. Don't always have to have your paper the way you draw. You can always spin it around, because once you've done your drawing, the colouring in, it doesn't really matter which way round it goes. So you can spin it round just so you can get into all those little cracks and crevices, and you can just colour in one direction. It makes it an awful lot easier. So this is my orange colour, nearly finished. And then after my orange colour, I'm going to go with red, this one here. And I'm going to do red up to about there. So I'm going to go red next. And we're going to make sure that blends in really nicely there. You could do all of your body colouring before your before doing the coloured pattern work, the triangles, if you wanted to. So you could colour all of his body first, and then you could do all of the little shapes afterwards. I just found it easier to do it yellow first. It's a habit that I've always had. Again, I learned it when I was at university, that you always start with your lightest colour. And so even if I'm painting or I'm colouring, I always start with my lightest colour. And that way, when I've got my lightest colour, it means that if I make a mistake, I can usually go over the top of it. So it does wobble a bit, doesn't it, when I colour it in, even though it's on my tripod. Because I'm colouring so hard, I'm getting a bit of a wobble, so I hope I'm not making it too shaky for you. He's looking good. We're nearly there. Got this part of his body to do. So what's happening this weekend? Well, on Saturday, we've got our paint and picnic. Now, I want to talk to you about the paint and picnic if you're going to join me. Obviously, school's going back soon, so I'll be starting a different kind of schedule when school goes back. So we've only got a couple more weeks of doing this together, and then I'll be having some new things happening for you Create Art at Home. There'll still be definitely bits and pieces that I'll be doing for free, but obviously Karen will be going back to work. And so I'll be having different kind of activities that you might want to get involved in. And I'm really excited to tell you about them. I'm going to be having an art club that you can join from home. So instead of having to leave, and maybe sometimes you've just got too many clubs that you can't get to any more clubs. Well, this is one that you can do from home. Mummy doesn't have to drive you anywhere. You can do it from home, and all of the ideas are there ready for you to do whenever you want. And I put new ideas every week, and you'll have me doing a little drawing tutorial like this, and there'll be craft options. And I'll tell you what materials you'll need to source. What do I mean by that? Well, that means that if we're doing a craft project and you might need an egg carton, oh, that one just split. You might need an egg carton, or you might need some glue or some sticky tape. you'll have a little list of things that you'll need to get ready for the week ahead. Uh-oh, we've got a pencil that's got a crack all the way through it because that keeps breaking. Let's try again. So that's what I mean about having a resources list. It means a list of materials that you're going to need to do the project. So you know how I've made a lightsaber, haven't I, from Star Wars? I made that out of toilet rolls and out of a gift wrapping roll. And then what else did we do? We did some junk modelling. We made that paper bouquet of flowers. I can't even remember. We've done so many. Over 70 projects now. So with the art club, it'll be a bit more organised and a little bit more, you'll be able to get yourself ready for it for the week ahead, okay? So you'll be able to join me to do that. And there'll also be painting classes, a bit like our paint and picnics. So you'll be able to join me for that. So these are all things that you might want to watch out for. Of course, you can always come to my art classes in the studio. You're very, very welcome. And I'll be back doing those very, very soon. As soon as they say to me that I can go back, I will be there with bells on. Ding, ling, ling. But I will be having this brand new art club that you will be able to do from home. Okay, so I'm just going to colour this in. Nearly finished. Now, like we did with all of our other pictures this week, I want you to decide, where is your clever cat? Where is he? Where's he hanging out on a Friday? I'm going to finish my picture as a surprise, and then I'm going to post it for you to come and find later. And you need to decide where you think he might be. I'm going to leave it as a surprise. So we had Tommy the turtle went for a swim, didn't he? Sid the sloth was hanging from the tree. We had, who else did we have? Tommy the turtle, Sid the sloth, and Tony the toucan. Tony the toucan, and who else have we had this week? We've had one more, can't think. Oh, Polly the pug. Polly the pug was at the seaside. So I don't know where we'll put our clever cat, but we will make sure he's hanging out somewhere for you to have a look at. So you can see I've done those 3 colours. I've gone from dark to middle to the next tone, and then the yellow is the lightest tone. They're all from the same warm colour family. So because they're all from the same warm colour family, I want to use some cool colours as a contrast. And I'm going to use the cool colours in the stripe of his tail, in his hat, and in his eyes, okay? And you can use, let's think, what's a cool colour? Well, they're blues and greens, aren't they? They always say that warm colours look like the desert or look like the hot of a sunny day, or fire. That's another thing. When you're talking about hot and cool colours, often people talk about fire. So these are our fiery warm colours. I'm just trying to sharpen this pencil to do that last little bit, which means our cool colours they often talk about, or what we usually talk about, is things like the ocean or the rainforest in Australia, which means greens and blues. So I'm going to give our curious cat bright green eyes. And green is the opposite colour to red on the colour wheel, so they really pop forward. Bright green eyes. And instead of black for the inside of his eyes, I'm going to use purple today, a nice dark purple, which is the opposite colour to yellow. And I'm going to use purple for the tail here. So these stripes, I'm going to go down. So I'm starting off with purple. Then I'm going to go with dark blue. So I'm going to do the same as I did with his body, but just do different colours in cool colours going down his tail. Then I'm going to do the next light blue. Then I'm going to do dark green. Oh, that pencil, all these pencils are starting to sharpener to break on me. That's because I've been using them so much this week. Nearly there. Okay, so now we're going to do the dark green. And then what do you think that last colour is going to be? Light green. So let's put that last colour in as light green. And this colour here is the same colour we used for his eyes. Gorgeous. I'm going to use that, oh no I'm not, I'm going to use a blue for the inside of his ears. Dark blue I think. Having a little look about what matches. So we'll do dark blue in the inside of his ears. And I want to give his hat, I want to give his hat a big stripe like it's got a band. And I think I'm going to use dark blue for that stripe. Which means I think I'm going to use dark green for the rest of his hat. Let's flip him around so I can get around the corner. Nice solid colour, just the brim to do. And then I am going to sign off and I will show you my finished secret background. I'll post it in the photographs for you so you can see where Clive is hanging out on a Friday night. So there's our curious cat. That's Clive, our curious cat. He looks super happy. You could obviously go round him with a black felt tip pen. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 5 PM, paint and picnic. You are going to need colours or paint, so you could use pencils or textures, or you could get your paints out. If you want to use paints, you will need a piece of bubble wrap and a doily. If you don't know what a doily is, ask Mummy, what's a doily? If you haven't got a doily, you could just cut some little bits of paper really easily. So if I just show you, I'll just grab my scissors. If you've got a piece of paper like this, just fold it in half, or you could fold it in 4. And I want you to just cut some shapes out like this. And this will give you, it's a bit like if you've ever made snowflakes, it's a bit like snowflakes, okay? You're just going to cut out your shape, and then when you open it out, you'll have a similar thing to a doily that you'll be able to use, all right? So if you don't have a doily at home, you can make your own doily, all right? So that's 5 o'clock tomorrow, paint and picnic. We're doing a turtle. Don't forget your colours or your paints, and you'll need some bubble wrap and some doily. 7 PM, we are doing a beautiful black macaw parrot for the parents, or for the, well, if you're doing it as a family, you guys know you're very welcome. All right, see you soon. Bye.